Do you ever have so many questions and no one to ask, so they're just wasting away on Google searches you'll forget about in an hour or so?
We had that same problem, and that's why we created the RD2Be podcast, a resource for dietetic and nutrition students looking for answers that their peers don't have.
We are students Macy and Emily and registered dietitian Carl Barnes. We engage in conversations and learn from RDs.
Join us weekly as we gain insight into the unique journeys of registered dietitians all over the country.
Welcome back to another week of the RD2Be podcast. So this week with the holidays, we didn't want to leave you guys hanging. We don't have an RD interview for you guys this week. So you're stuck with me. This is Carl Barnes. You're stuck with me as your only RD this week, but no interview. So this one's going to be a pretty quick one here with Emily. And we're just going to go over. So right now we are finally open enrollment for the Spring Mentorship Program. This is a program that we're going on our third iteration. We started it earlier in the year, 2 semesters ago. And the goal from my perspective was to give students interaction with a dietitian that they might not otherwise have in undergrad. So what was I missing when I was an undergrad student was kind of that not quite professional relationship with an RD. We'll talk more about the time, but Emily, what did you find valuable having gone through the program? What was kind of the thing that stuck out for you?
Yeah, the program was very beneficial for me. We had both not in person, we both had one-on-one, and we had the Zoom meetings where all of the students came together and we were able to ask questions, build off of each other, go over resume building, LinkedIn, networking, different credentials, stuff like that. So I really feel like the one-on-one was the most valuable for me, just because I was able to talk like, what did you do on a day-to-day basis? What credentials do you have? How did you get there? What school did you go to? What program did you go through? How did you get to where you're going? Things of that nature. But I also think that the Zoom presentations that you gave were also really beneficial because we were able to ask questions that we didn't even think of. Like I know a few students had questions like, that's really good. Why couldn't I think of that? So it was really good just to hear other people's opinions and the questions that they had so we can build off of each other.
That's a good point. You brought up the Zoom. So those are a little more, I don't want to call it stuffy, but for those it might be interested in this program. So it's basically you've got that one-on-one relationship for the duration of the program with some topics, but those presentations are more kind of that professional development. Some of it might be stuff you're getting in your classes already, but because we've got students from freshmen all the way up to graduating seniors or fifth year, whatever floats your boat. Everyone's on a different side of the spectrum. So everyone's finding value in the different ones. And sometimes it's not even that presentation that's the value. It's that conversation, like you said, the discussion that stems from it. So this isn't just for the students, but this is also for the RDs. We can only do this with the gracious volunteer work of RDs. So open enrollment for both is happening right now. So one thing I wanted to mention, so we started this almost kind of exclusive because we knew we had a limited amount of RDs and it was only for a couple schools, but this next semester, it's going to be open nationwide. So that's a whole different level of connections. You're going to be interacting with students from all over the country and RDs from all over the country.
Yeah.
And a shameless plug, but Emily is the program coordinator for this. So she's graduated from being in the mentorship program to helping run it. What are some other things you want to put out for students that might be listening to this, why they should really take advantage of this opportunity?
Even if you're on the fence, I know we had 1 or 2 students this semester. I think we had 25 students this year, or this go around. 22 of them were on the fence, like, I don't really know if I want to be an RD, stuff like that. And I think they were freshmen or sophomores. And then one of them was actually my like a mentee. I hate that word too,
Mhm.
but through the UMD dietetic program, through the peer mentor program they have. And she's like, yeah, like I've learned so much. So I really think it helps expand your knowledge, just helps you gain that that networking. Like my RD, I was able to talk to her about Walter Reed because that's where she was, talking with you, Carl, talking to the other RDs that participated. It's just honestly a huge networking thing. It really teaches you about why we do what we want to do. Just reinforces like taking care of people, wanting to help people out. And I learned all of that through this.
And in case it wasn't clear, this is a free opportunity, and students are all about free opportunities. I don't like the barrier to entry, if you will, the cost of getting opportunities like this. So there's no cost. The only limitation really, again, is if we have more people sign up than we do RDs. We're not going to be able to take everyone, but we do our darndest, is that the word? To make sure we can get that opportunity for as many as possible. And that's also why it's a relatively short one. So it's going to be about 6 weeks, but you got 5 meetings with your mentor. But we do that on purpose so that we can make sure we're not abusing the time of the mentors, but also so that we can get more people cycled through and get that opportunity open for more. Anything else you want to add on that?
Just mainly, I found this experience so valuable. I really had no idea about anything when I came to Maryland. I first was at San Diego, but I didn't really know anything about being a dietitian. Then I'm like, you know what? Let me shadow at Holy Cross Hospital, which is in Silver Spring, Maryland. I learned some experience there. Carl, you and I got to know each other through LinkedIn, stuff like that. And I don't know, I really feel like this program helped me expand my knowledge. And I've been saying that a lot. But I mean, that's the only thing.
And
Honestly,
with COVID,
yeah, especially with COVID, like we're interacting with people on these social networking platforms that we couldn't even think about using, like Zoom. Who would have thought that this time last year?
Yeah.
But now I can talk to an RD that's in Washington State or California or New York. Doesn't really matter, except like the time zone can be a little iffy sometimes. But I don't know, you can meet with people and interact with people all over the country. So you're not really limited, besides for, the 3-hour time zone, but that's not really a big thing to overcome.
The 12-hour time difference I used to have, I feel, was easier to coordinate than 3-hour West Coast to East Coast. But, no, that's a very good point. And I know a lot of students keep asking, especially in this last iteration, we're in new times, right? So the experience I had as a student is nowhere near what you guys are going to be experiencing. Volunteering at a hospital, getting more shadow opportunities, stuff like that still exists, but not nearly as frequent and probably know for how long. So having access and opportunities where they come is very important. And this one being virtual means little to no barriers. So sign up. Where to go? So the RD2Be website, RD2Be.com. That's
number 2. It's the number 2, not TO.
And then BE instead of just the number B. So RD2BE.com. Follow us on Instagram. Same info is going out there. That's the RD2Be on there. Stay tuned. So obviously we're putting out this great podcast between Emily and Macy, interviewing dietitians every week, giving you guys some great content from the perspective of dietitians, but advice for students who are going through the process. We want you guys to be better equipped than we were, so that the profession continues to grow, develop, diversify. I should probably coin those 3: grow, develop, diversify. All right, there we go. Stay tuned. We got tons of announcements. The website's where most of it's coming, but you also get it on all these other outlets. So
also subscribe to the newsletter that's on the website. Just put your info in there. You can get emails from us, and then sign up to be a mentor or a student to have a mentor, you can just go on like if you go on the top, it says mentorship program, click on there, you'll find the information below, and make sure you sign up before January 27th.
Perfect. Thanks for reminding me that date. Yeah.
Yep.
And then the program will start the second week of February. So February 8th. So we'll have a fun kickoff that first week, and then 5 weeks of great stuff. So we'll be reaching out to a lot of programs. We already have a lot of signups. We're still open for another 4 weeks. So really pushing hard for a lot of, I'll be pushing hard for a lot of mentor signups, and Emily's going to be working hard here for a lot of student signups. So any questions, pop them over at the website. Pretty responsive with getting back to you guys on there. One of us will be there. But that's all I got. Thanks for chiming in here, Emily.
No problem.
All right. We'll catch everyone next week for another real interview with a dietitian other than me that you see every week.